Alright, looks like we are live on YouTube, so just making sure everything is looking good out there. What I am going to be doing is posting this. Let's see, get the chat, get that popped out. There we go. So I'm going to be posting this in the chat. This is the link for the webinar tonight at 7 Central. There you go. So come check that out. That's going to be this. So right here, this is going to be about me and the Moxie indicator and how I trade and basically how we see moves before they actually happen and how they occur. So Imran, good to see you again. You're all over this place. It's great. So yeah, this is what we're going to be doing tonight. It's going to be a good, fun presentation. And I'll be showing you some of the things that I kind of look at today and how we do it. So be sure to sign up for that and see how things are looking at. Kirk, yeah, we'll get into those too as well. And one thing I forgot to mention on the other one is this. I thought this was pretty funny. You know, our horoscope this week, right? Take your pick. Now, I'm a Pisces, and I think that's a pretty accurate horoscope for the coming couple weeks, actually. We could probably look at this horoscope 3 weeks from now, and it seems like it's probably going to be the same thing, don't you think? Yeah, so I thought that was a little bit amusing. That's kind of been going around our office right now. All right, let's see. We'll kind of so Imran, I think on the last one you were asking, is there news pending? I don't know of any specific news pending other than that the Senate voted on the stimulus bill and it passed. As far as I think it was just I can't think of the particular name right now, but it's basically to say, okay, let's start talking about it and we'll start really hammering this thing out. They haven't actually voted yes on all the money to get dispersed. They're just voting on like, yeah, okay, we can talk about it. I think that's right. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just looking at this and it just looks, it just doesn't look to me like it's just going to keep going. It might. And again, this can take a couple days to happen. The kind of projections that I'm trying to make out there, it may not happen today. It might happen tomorrow or the next day, later in the week, something like that. But I just kind of have a feeling out there that at some point, price is probably going to want to come back down and test the 15-minute 50 or go just below the 15-minute 50 and move up. So I'm just putting it out there. It might take some time for it to actually happen, and we'll see. All right, so we'll kind of get into some of the other ones. Let's see. You're looking at my list. CTXS. Yeah, we did cover that. And this looks good. I mean, so far. Oh, and Kirk, how's the screen? Is it bigger? I made the font and everything bigger, so let me know what you think about that. Honestly, Imran, I don't really use a financial calendar. I just have enough stuff that I hear about the things that I need to hear about. I subscribe to enough people on Twitter, and then between our office and just stuff, I kind of hear all the news that I need to about whatever's coming up. So I'm not really caught off guard by too much. So I like this on, okay, font better, good. I like this on the daily chart. You see that the 8 is over the 21 and price is over the daily 50. All that's looking pretty good. The Moxie indicator has now crossed. All that's looking pretty good. So daily chart looks just great. It's bounced off of the daily 200. And then we had a trampoline move. That was the real setup that I was looking for on the hourly chart, was the trampoline move. Because when price is below the 50, but the Moxie indicator is above 0, that's a trampoline move. And it's just like, it's exactly like that. You come down, you jump on that trampoline, and just shoots you right back up. So that's what I was looking at for that one. And then here you can see double bottom and divergence. And at this point, we're just along for the ride. There's nothing that says anything else other than, hey, hang on, let's see where it goes. We've got a squeeze right here looking pretty good. We've got a squeeze right here, a mild one right there. And so until we see otherwise, we're just going to stay in this thing. Maybe at some point there will be a second good entry, but it's looking pretty nice right now. And let's see, Peloton. Again, we gotta just kind of wait. The market isn't rip roaring right now, and if I'm correct about the market needing to kind of take a little bit of a dip before going, just like a refresher before it goes, then a lot of these things are probably gonna go in concert with the market. But what I like here is see that there's an elf shoe. Here's the leg, here's the heel, here's the arch of the foot, there's the ball of the foot, looking for the elf toe. And what we have is the wide 8 and 21 moat and the narrow 8 and 21 moat. So I'm just looking for this thing to kind of go sideways to up and keep moving. So Daily chart looks great. And then Imram, to your point earlier, you were saying that one of your favorite setups that I've taught is that move where crosses the 50, gets rejected by the 200, then bounces off the 50. You notice that it's sitting right here. Here's that move. There's that setup we like. There's that setup. Cross the 50, yeah, reject by the 200, come back down, test the uptrending 50. There's the trampoline move, and now we just wait. Now we just hang on. And so far it's staying above the 15-minute 200. We are basically staying over the 15-minute 50, but it's kind of a minor detail for now. And so far the Moxie indicator is staying above 0 and looking pretty good. Again, this is one of those that we just kind of we're along for the ride at this point. I don't see anything else that we need to worry about so far. The only other concern is if this 200 continues to be resistance and price can't hold it, then that's why I have a stop. I keep my stop right there just in case this thing really something goes wrong, we misread it, misinterpret it, something like that. And yeah, D50 is an easy target. It might even make it up to about there, like 29. It might. We'll have to see. But yeah, D50 was a pretty good target. So we'll just have to see. I would definitely like to see this get over here. If it doesn't, then that's what our stops are for, because perhaps the hourly 200 continues to be stronger resistance than we think. And if that's the case, then we'll kind of see it do that, and that's why we have stops. All right, then let's see. Another one you guys were asking about. Yeah, you're asking my whole list. INMD. So far, so good. So far, so good. The only concern I have, let me kind of keep zooming in here, and we just don't know how this will resolve itself or if it's really going to be an issue. So far price has not touched the 15-minute 50. That could be an issue at some point. Price likes to follow the moving averages. Even on the way down, you can see price is following the 15-minute 50 right there. So that might be an issue at some point. Again, if this kind of coincides with the market doing what I think it might be doing, there might be a dip and then a go. So we'll have to kind of take some judgment for that. And the other thing is it's starting to put in a big gap between price and the hourly 50. So similar to, Stitch Fix, like I just mentioned previously. See here, you see how there's a big gap between price and the hourly 50. So that's just a little thing that we need to kind of keep an eye on. And let's see, Twilio was another one that I was looking at. Twilio just kind of kept going. This is where I say, hey, we can't pull the trigger to get out necessarily preventatively or prematurely, because what it did do is it came right back down to the 15-minute 50 and then went, and it never touched the hourly 50. So this is why we kind of need to use our multiple time frames to kind of keep reading these things and making sure everything is looking good, and that's why we need to kind of keep stepping down on something like that. All right, EB. Let's see what's going on with EB. Sometimes my hourly chart is a little bit hung up. All right, so overall, this thing is just so oversold, right? It's so oversold. It's just going to have like a natural tendency to want to get sucked right back up. It's going to want to go up just because it's so oversold. I am seeing positive divergence here and positive divergence here, and look, right there, see the Moxie price trigger? I'm looking at that. Let me zoom in even closer and see what this looks like, so we can actually see, because it's so small. Here's your wide moat, here's your narrow moat. Notice that now the 8 is over the 21, and notice that price is also starting to get past the hourly 50, so that's all good news. It's starting to make progress. We've got a squeeze. And then here, you can see this was a trampoline move on the 15-minute time frame. Moxie indicators above 0, and held the, well, let me kind of draw that better, right there, held the 15-minute 50, and it's now starting to break past the 15-minute 200. So again, everything is making progress. It's starting to do the thing we want it to do, and it's coming along. Let me show you one other one real quick. And what was this? MAXR. And then just as a reminder, because I need to remember that since this is live, people kind of come in and out and never really know who's checking this out. But just remember over here, there's the link in the, yeah, let's see, copy link address. I can post that again. Oop, that didn't work very well. I'll have to work on that. I'll fix that one later. All right, but there's a link in the comments about this. I'll be doing the webinar tonight. So at 7 o'clock p.m. Central, I'll be going over all this stuff. I'll be going over the Moxie indicator, how I trade, what I do, and how we've been helping people navigate basically through this kind of stuff. You know, with the market going down, what, 35%? We were actually making money on the way down. We made some money on a few bounces, and then you know, now we're making money as the market continues to go up. So we've been helping people navigate this, and I just really think that, you know, as a stock trading educator, that this is really where you know, the rubber meets the road, and this is where it's important. So if anybody's been having troubles and struggling out there, you know, this is what we can help with. So we're just trying to here to make sure that people actually either save money or can make a little bit of money when things like this happen. All right, this is another one I've been looking at. You can see I took a paper trade back here. I saw something coming a little bit early. This reminds me of EB. Basically, you know, the fact that price was so far off of the daily 8 that it wasn't touching. I was like, there's just going to be a natural, you know, vacuum back up to the upside. And what I could see here is notice that the Moxie indicator on the 15-minute time frame was, you know, stayed above 0. This was telling me that despite price going down, 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 energy and momentum is actually starting to build internally, wanting to go up, up, up. And I could see that through the 15-minute Moxie indicator. I hope you guys can kind of see it the way that I see it. And you know, I'm looking at that, and when it finally went is when price crossed the 15-minute 50. It got over the 15-minute 200, went sideways, and then it just kept going up. And you can see that it also started taking off when price got past the hourly 50. So that one worked out pretty well. As also, let's see, that one's gone 32%. So yeah, not too shabby. And even today, let's see, like today from the close, it's gone 17% today. So real nice on that one. And then, you know, so simpler trading, there's a squeeze right there. So that was really good, really good. Yeah, MRAM, you're killing it, man. Yeah, that was, yeah, Max R was like a pretty good move. A real good move on that one. And then, let's see, CLVS. You know, just a lot of these we're going to have to just be in. We'll have to let them percolate and get going. But I'm kind of looking at this. Everything looks pretty good. We've got the squeeze. The Moxie indicator's coming up. We've got our double bottom right there. Price is over the hourly 50. Price is over the 15-minute 50 and the 200. The Moxie indicator staying above 0. I mean, everything's at least primed to go. And so it's in these situations where we just you know, put them in. We put our fishing rod out there. We got our bait, and now we just wait. We wait for them to kind of go. All right, then MRAM to, let's see, the other one I'm kind of looking at, and I don't, you know, it's not quite ready. I think that there's going to be another opportunity for this one. This is a Dropbox, but remember that pattern that we like, right? Cross the 50, rejected by the 200, and then we tap the 50 again. There's the Moxie divergence. You can see we've crossed now, you know, and all that was also retesting the lows right there. And then you can see the elf shoe, like here's the leg, heel, arch of the foot, ball of the foot, there's the elf toe. And then price came down right there onto the 15-minute 200. Now, I put a line on here to kind of mark it and see what I'm looking at, but I got a feeling, you know, we look at this, and you see how price hasn't touched the 15-minute 50 yet, you know, kind of like how it hasn't touched here, but it had to finally go back and then it failed. I'm kind of looking at that, and I'm looking at this as, you know, the 200 as resistance, and I think that there's too much of a gap between price and the hourly 50, just like how there was too much distance between price and the hourly 50. So I just think that there's going to be a better, cleaner entry on something like this with DBX, and that's why I'm looking at this and saying, you know, until I make this a public one, I say that just let's wait. I think that there's going to be an opportunity. I think that there's going to be some sort of like dip, and we can get it there. So if you guys want to keep an eye out on that one. Now let me take a look at the SPY, because I see that it's moving. Hey, remember, you said you've made some pretty good money on that this morning. I mean, everything's looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, so far it's staying over all these moving averages. My only concern is at some point this unsupported situation might come to fruition. Yeah, there's probably somehow that's going to have to be resolved. We don't know if it's going to do it in a little way or in a big way. Let me see if I can find some examples. Yeah, see, INMD, you know, these things can keep going for some time. The question is how much time. let's see if I can kind of, let's keep looking around at some of these ones that I have. Let's see, DDD, we'll kind of look at these lower time frame charts and see, here's a previous example that we can kind of look at. See how price kind of got up like this, and there was basically, some distance here. It did touch a little bit right there, but you can see that the Moxie indicator was not looking too strong, and it was still running into a downtrending 15-minute 200. I'm looking at that, now I feel like we're kind of doing it again. Something's just feeling overbought. Let's look at big. Yeah, there's a little bit there. Let me see if there was something to talk about on this one. Oh yeah, here we go. So how's this for a setup, right? So this does exactly what I want. So anybody out there who doesn't know my method and what I talk about, there's price down, there's the Moxie indicator divergence. That's basically telling us that the internal pressure is wanting to go up. This is the stuff that I use in order to see what's going on inside a price, and that actually, I can see things move before they actually move, or see that things that are going to move before they can actually move. And so we're looking at that, and then you could see, here's the double bottom, triple bottom-ish, Moxie indicator keeps going up, and then what it do? You can see right there, there's a little double bottom, price got over the 15-minute 50, took off, and that's when price got over the hourly 50 and took off, and that's the, you can even see, come on, that's when the Moxie indicator triggered. So pretty good timing on that one as well. All right, then let's see net. How's this looking? Yeah, not too much to say about that. TLT. What's going on with TLT? Now here was something. I had somebody asking about TLT today, and it looked very, very similar to net that I was just showing. My concern, just like what I was talking about with price being unsupported on the 15-minute time frame, you see here how price was unsupported off of the 15-minute time frame, and then it finally did touch the 15-minute, but now it doesn't look like it's doing much. Doesn't this look a little weird, a little awkward? A little bit like how price, double top in price, and it just doesn't look very strong. I'm not seeing a ton of strength here. And look here, I'm seeing that price is elevated off of the hourly 50. Like it's pretty far up there. Like what is its roadmap? What is the yellow brick road that it wants to follow? Well, if it's the hourly 50, it's too far down. It's not being supported right there. And then I also look at this, that the Moxie indicator here is kind of delayed. The Moxie indicator should happen before price crosses the 50 or when it actually crosses the 50. The fact that it's happening late tells me that that's not really a good situation. Same with how we get price starting to take off from the daily 8. So now let's look at net, and we'll see that net basically kind of looks the same situation. And what you can see here, doesn't that look similar? There's a double top, not looking too hot, and it still hasn't touched really the hourly 50. And notice how delayed the Moxie indicator is from actually when price crossed the hourly 50. Now it's doing a little bit better, it's a little bit closer here, but I would like to see some sort of dip. Now there is a squeeze here and there is a squeeze here on both time frames, so I think that there's something good here, but I'm looking for just a little bit better. If this thing dipped and then went, that's what I would like. I'd really like to see that. I'm just not so sure that this is going to keep going up from here, and if it does, it seems like it's going to be a little bit unsupported like that. So yeah, I think net and TLT, completely different vehicles, completely different industries and all that. They're kind of looking the same. And I think, perhaps what we're looking at here is some natural resistance of price coming right into this previous high right there. And so I'm looking at that, and I think it needs probably a dip before it can go. We'll see. We'll see if we actually get what I need it to get. Oh, APRN. Here is another fun one. Yeah, there is a squeeze on net. There's a daily squeeze and there's an hourly squeeze. Let me show you this. So this was fun. I wish I had seen this earlier. And I have to really zoom out in order to make this work. But you guys see the trampoline move? How's this set up? There's the Moxie price trigger. Notice there's the double bottom. There's the divergence. And this is a trampoline move right there. And then you can see that the good move was when price was able to clear the hourly 50 and the hourly 200. I wish I had seen that at the time, because look what this thing did. It went from there Well, you know, if we went up to the top, that was wow, I haven't even done the math on that. That was 700%. You know, let's just say we took like some of it, 480%. Wow, yeah, Blue Apron. Wouldn't that have been a fun one? But you know, the reason why I bring this up is because the setup was there. The setup was entirely still there. You know, we look back here, we have to do this situation. It was still there, and this is where the Moxie indicator kind of helps tell you what's going on. Double bottom, divergence, trampoline move, there's the price trigger, and when price got over the hourly 50 and over the hourly 200, there you go. You know, like you just can't beat it. So the Moxie indicator, the Moxie system, all this kind of stuff works out really, really well. And yeah, wish I had seen that one in time. By the time I saw it, let's see, when did I actually come across it? I think, let's see, I think I came across it right here, and I was a little too chicken because at that point it already moved, you know, 187%. I should have just taken it because even from there, let's see where to go. I mean, this thing's insane, absolutely insane. This thing then just went up, you know, another 354% from there. You know, you probably wouldn't have been able to catch that, so maybe you got 216%, you know, but man, that would have been a nice trade. So I'm keeping an eye on this. I want to see if there's, you know, can lightning strike twice on this one, kind of like how Space and Tesla, you know, how they really, really got going. I'm wondering. So I'm keeping an eye on it because based on the Moxie rules, you know, this could be setting up for a trampoline move right here. It's a possibility. So I'm just going to see if maybe this thing does a resurgence. So we'll have to keep an eye on this lower time frame chart, and we'll see. Well, the market is really doing great. I'm very happy to hear this. I'm very happy to see that the market is doing well because that means all of our positions will be doing well. And just keep an eye. At some point there will probably be a pullback because, you know, it's starting to get a little bit unsupported. Maybe it won't be as bad as what I originally projected of maybe price needed to come all the way back down to this level. Maybe that won't have to happen. Maybe instead it'll do like what Twilio did. You know, maybe what it'll do is this, and this would be great. But you see how price came back and tested the 15-minute 50? That would be great. But you can see that price was unsupported right here, and then what it needed to do is come back and test the 15-minute 50, and then we took off. So we've got our first move, and it's looking good. It's looking nice. I like this. So we got that, and we'll be looking for a second entry on something like that with the S&P. So if we look back there, yeah, at some point, this move is going to probably make a pullback, but we'll see where it goes until then. But everything's really, really great. I'm happy with this. Very, very nice. And we'll watch to see if at some point price impacts the 15-minute 50 someplace, and then we can add more to our overall trends. But the Moxie indicator is looking really, really good. So things are good. All right, everybody. I'm going to be calling it quits on that. I've got some other things I got to get going today for the rest of the subscribers. And for anybody who is tuning in, checking out, I'm going to be adding more links. I don't know if the one I sent the second time worked, but just remember, I'm going to be talking about all of this tonight. I've got this webinar tonight, 7 o'clock Central, and yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to be going over all the things that I do, how I do it, where I came from, how I got here, and what I do. And if you guys want to come check this out, it's going to be fun. I'll have a Q&A at the end, so you know, definitely stay towards the end, and you can ask me more questions. I'm an open book, you know. I'm happy to be where I am, and I just want to be paying it forward because there were a lot of people that put a lot of time and energy in me to get me to this point, and so I just want to be able to take what I've done and make sure everybody else can, you know, start making money out there. So everybody, thank you again. Take care, and I'll catch you tonight. See you then.